Hello everyone, take a deep breath because this moment is for you. This is a letter to the person who feels alone. Maybe you've been carrying this weight silently, wondering if anyone sees you, if anyone notices the battles you fight behind closed doors. Loneliness often whispers lies, telling you that you're invisible, that you don't matter, that nobody could ever truly understand you. But let me remind you, your existence is proof that you matter, and the very fact that you're here, listening right now, is evidence that your story isn't over yet. Loneliness doesn't always mean being physically alone. It's possible to be surrounded by people and still feel unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that connection isn't meant for you. But the truth is, connection often begins with you reconnecting to yourself. The parts of you that you've ignored, the passions you've put on hold, the dreams you once buried, they are waiting for you to return to them. Sometimes loneliness is an invitation to pause, to heal, and to grow. Life isn't punishing you, it's creating space so you can find out who you are without the noise, without the constant need for validation. Because when you build a relationship with yourself, the loneliness begins to transform into solitude, and solitude is powerful. In solitude, you learn to hear your own voice again. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are not unworthy of love. The people who are meant to understand you will find you when the time is right. And sometimes the reason you feel alone right now is because life is preparing you for those connections. The kind that are deep, genuine, and lasting. You're being prepared to recognize true love, true friendship, and true belonging when it arrives. So to the person who feels alone, don't lose hope. There will be moments when the weight feels heavy, but there will also be moments of light, laughter, and warmth waiting for you. Hold on to the truth that you are valuable, that your life has meaning, and that your presence makes a difference in this world, even if you can't see it yet. Loneliness is not your final chapter, it's just a page in your story. Loneliness has a way of speaking to us in the quiet moments, and often it doesn't speak the truth. It whispers lies. It tells you that you're invisible, that your presence doesn't matter, that if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice. It convinces you that you are somehow less than others, that you don't belong, and that your story doesn't carry weight. These lies can echo so loudly in your heart that they feel real. But just because they feel real doesn't mean they are true. The truth is, your very existence is proof that you have value. Think about it. Out of billions of people in this world, there is only one you. No one else carries the same combination of thoughts, experiences, and gifts that you hold within you. Loneliness tries to shrink you down to nothing, but if you pause and look closely, you'll see that you've already impacted people's lives in ways you don't even realize. Maybe it was a smile you gave to a stranger, a kind word you offered when someone needed it, or the strength you showed simply by waking up and trying again when life felt overwhelming. Loneliness doesn't want you to remember those moments because they're evidence that you matter. Instead, it magnifies every instance where you felt ignored or left out. It replays the times when you weren't chosen, when someone didn't see your worth, when you felt like an outsider in your own life. And if you listen to that voice long enough, you start to believe the story it tells, that you are not enough. But here's the reality: you are more than enough. You are not invisible. You have a light that cannot be replicated by anyone else. The lie of loneliness is designed to make you forget your own power, your own beauty, your own uniqueness. And when you remind yourself of this truth, you begin to see that loneliness is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a reflection of where you are right now. It's a feeling, not a fact. You are not defined by it. So when loneliness whispers its lies, answer back with truth. Remind yourself that you matter, you are seen, and you are deeply needed in this world. Being surrounded by people doesn't always mean you feel connected. Sometimes the most isolating moments come when you're in a crowded room, yet you feel unseen and unheard. You smile, you nod, you go through the motions, but deep down there's a void, a gap that no amount of noise can fill. That's because true connection doesn't begin outside. It begins within you. We spend so much of our lives searching for belonging in others, craving their validation, waiting for their attention to remind us that we matter. But the reality is, no one can give us what we haven't yet given ourselves. If you don't recognize your own worth, even the love that comes your way will feel incomplete because you won't fully believe it. If you haven't taken the time to connect with your own heart, even the company of others will feel empty because you'll always be searching for something more. Connection starts when you turn inward. Think about the passions you once had that you set aside because life got busy. Think about the dreams you tucked away because someone told you they weren't realistic. Think about the parts of yourself you silenced because you were afraid they wouldn't be accepted. Those parts of you are still there, waiting patiently for you to return to them. When you reconnect with what lights you up, when you nurture the parts of yourself you've been neglecting, you begin to feel whole again, even if no one else is around. It's not that you don't need people, we're wired for connection, but the deepest and most fulfilling relationships happen when we come to them already rooted in who we are. That's when you stop grasping for love and start sharing it. That's when conversations stop feeling shallow and start feeling meaningful. That's when you realize you're not lonely because no one cares. You're lonely because you've drifted away from yourself. Reconnection doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small moments of honesty, in allowing yourself to sit with your feelings, in saying yes to the things that bring you joy. As you learn to embrace yourself, you'll notice something shift. The loneliness begins to soften, the emptiness begins to fill, and slowly the connections you've been longing for start to appear, because they're drawn to the authentic you, the one who has finally come home to themselves. Sometimes loneliness is not punishment, it is an invitation. Life has a way of creating silence around us so that we can hear what we've been too busy to notice. In the rush of everyday life, we fill our schedules, surround ourselves with distractions, and drown out our own thoughts. But when loneliness arrives, it slows everything down. It makes us stop, and in that stillness, we're offered a chance to reconnect, to heal, and to grow. When you feel alone, it's easy to think you've been abandoned or forgotten. But what if that space was created on purpose, not to harm you, but to help you? Maybe you were relying too much on external voices, on the approval of others, on constant noise to feel worthy. Loneliness strips all that away and leaves you face with yourself. And though it may feel uncomfortable at first, that's where the real transformation begins. In solitude, you begin to see what you've been carrying. The pain you've avoided, the dreams you've ignored, the emotions you've buried. They rise to the surface, and instead of running from them, you have the chance to finally face them. This is the work that can only happen when the world grows quiet. Healing doesn't always happen in the presence of others. Sometimes it requires you to be alone, to sit with yourself, to understand the patterns that keep repeating, and to let go of what no longer serves you. The beauty of loneliness is that it can shift into solitude. And solitude is powerful. It's in solitude that artists create, that thinkers discover, that souls rebuild. Solitude gives you the chance to rediscover your own voice without interference, to remember who you are when no one else is around. It turns the empty space into fertile ground where growth can begin. So the next time you find yourself in a season of loneliness, try not to see it as life rejecting you. See it as life inviting you. Inviting you to pause, inviting you to heal, inviting you to step into a deeper understanding of yourself. Because when you do, you'll find that the loneliness wasn't a barrier. It was a bridge leading you back to the person you were always meant to be. You are not forgotten, you are not broken, you are not unworthy of love. Loneliness has a way of convincing us that we've been left behind, that everyone else has found their place while we are stuck wandering. But life doesn't work like that. Sometimes, what feels like isolation is really preparation. The space you're in right now may feel empty, but it's being cleared so that something meaningful can enter. Think of it like planting a seed. Before the seed can grow, it has to be buried in darkness. At first, it looks like nothing is happening, as though the seed has been abandoned underground. But what's really happening is transformation. Beneath the soil, roots are forming, strength is being built, and soon new life will break through. That's what loneliness can be for you. A season where you're developing the roots you'll need to sustain the relationships, opportunities, and love that are coming your way. It's easy to believe you're broken when people don't see you or when the connections you long for don't appear. But you are not broken. You are becoming. Every moment of silence, every unanswered call, every time you felt unseen has been shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who will recognize real love and real friendship when it finally arrives. Because sometimes the reason you felt alone is that life didn't want you to settle for less. It's been protecting you from shallow connections so that when deep ones come, you'll know the difference. You are worthy of love just as you are. Not when you're more successful, not when you look different, not when you've achieved more. Worthiness is not something you earn. It's something you carry within you. And when you start to embrace that truth, the loneliness begins to lose its grip. You stop searching for someone else to complete you and realize that you are already whole. The right people, the ones who will truly see you and value you, will enter your life when the time is right. Until then, trust the process. Trust that you are being prepared, shaped, and guided toward connections that are not temporary but lasting. You are not forgotten. You are simply becoming ready for what you deserve. Loneliness is not the final chapter of your story. It may feel like it right now, as if the emptiness will never leave, as if the silence will always echo in your heart. But every season in life has an end, and loneliness is no different. It's a page, not the book. It's a moment, not the entirety of who you are. And what comes after this season has the potential to be more beautiful, more meaningful, and more fulfilling than anything you've experienced before. When you're in the middle of loneliness, time feels heavy. Days blur into nights, and nights stretch on endlessly. You begin to wonder if joy will ever return. But if you look back on your life, you'll notice that pain has never been permanent. You've walked through struggles before, and though they may have left scars, they also left strength. This season will do the same. It will not define you, it will refine you. What often happens after loneliness is a deeper appreciation for connection. When you've tasted emptiness, you value presence more. When you've sat with silence, you listen more intently when voices return. When you've felt unseen, you learn how powerful it is to truly see others. Loneliness has a way of softening the heart, of making you more compassionate, more empathetic, more aware of the value of love when it finally finds you, and it will find you. Not always in the ways you expect, not always in the timing you planned, but it will come. The friendships that uplift you, the love that accepts you, the communities that remind you that you belong, they are waiting for the right moment to enter. But even before they arrive, your life has meaning. Even before the connections appear, you are already whole. So don't let loneliness trick you into believing that this is forever. Don't let it convince you that this page is the end of the book. The truth is, Every story has chapters of struggle and chapters of triumph, chapters of loss and chapters of renewal. Yours is still being written, and though loneliness may be part of the journey, it is never the conclusion. The final chapters of your story are still ahead, and they are filled with light, love, and belonging. And so, to the one who feels alone, remember that this moment is not the sum of your life. Loneliness does not define you, it does not reduce your worth, and it does not take away the love that still exists for you in this world. You have walked through shadows, but shadows only prove that light is near. This season is teaching you something, shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Hold on to that truth. Hold on to the belief that even now, life is preparing connections, opportunities, and experiences that will remind you just how much you belong. Your story is not finished, and the pages ahead are waiting to be filled with joy, growth, and love deeper than you've ever known. Trust the journey, trust yourself, and know that you are never as alone as you feel.